Okay, here we pick up again with the second section of healing of the man born blind. Okay, um, so, and the Pharisees said to them, okay, or asked them, okay, saying, and notice what we have here. This is a nominative plural participle agreeing with Pharisaioi, okay. And then notice you have autus as the accusative direct object. And the Pharisees said, or asked them, saying, Hutos estin hoios humon. Okay? Is that guy your son, the son of you all? Okay? That guy who was born blind? And notice here we have an aorist passive. Okay. How then does he just now see? Right? If he was born blind, how does he see now? Okay. So then they answered. Okay. And notice here you have a passive aorist being used actively here. So this is like a deponent verb. And there's a note in your book that talks about how in the classical period they would have used the middle voice for this, for answering, for the verb to answer, for this use of this particular verb to mean that. But by the time of the New Testament in Koine, they were actually using the passive form. Okay, so we translate this actively. Then the parents, or his parents, answered. Whose parents? Oh, his parents, that man's parents, and said, okay, that man is our son. And notice the contrast here between Hamon and Humon. Okay, the son of y'all and the son of us. Okay, that man is our son, that man who was born blind. But how he now sees, we do not know. Or who opened his eyes, we do not know. Okay, and notice the contrast here between hos, a regular relative pronoun, and hostis. Okay, so this is basically irregular relative pronouns with a form of tis on the end. And the contrast here is this is an indefinite relative. Okay, they know who this guy is. Okay, this guy is our son, this guy who was born blind. But how he now sees, we do not know. Or whoever opened his eyes, we do not know. We don't know anything about that, okay, about that guy, whoever he is, okay. And then they say, ask him, right? For he is of age. And notice that here, helikia being used idiomatically either with the form of echo or with the verb to be to mean someone is of age. You might understand this as meaning something like he possesses adulthood or something like that. Okay? He will answer about himself. Okay? He's an adult. He can tell you. Okay? And notice the intensive use of autos here. He himself, okay, or the nominative singular use of autos. And then the reflexive pronoun. So he himself will answer about himself. Then the Pharisees summoned the man again, and they said to him, okay, now here we have the word doxa. Now doxa is an interesting word. Doxa in the classical period meant opinion, something like what we would translate as opinion. It was often contrasted with this word, episteme, which is where we get our word epistemology from, okay? Theory of knowledge, right? Okay. And doxa and episteme were, doxa means, in the classical period, there was the philosophers and sophists were having a ongoing issue with these terms. Doxa meaning opinion, or that which seems to be, that which appears to be, and episteme, which is thought to be more like absolute knowledge, or even like something like truth. Okay. But here they're just using it as an expression, because it can sort of be like the word fama in Latin. Fama can mean reputation, either good or bad. Okay. And you figure it out by its, depending on the context, it's going to be, good reputation or bad reputation, right? Also rumor and all those kinds of things, but not necessarily true. Okay. And here it's being used in the New Testament to mean something like what we would translate as glory to God, okay, like good reputation to God or something like that. So they're exclaiming, glory to God. We know the truth, okay? Jesus is a sinner. Then that man, okay, replied to them, okay. It's like giving an answer to someone, right, in the dative case, okay. I don't know if he is a sinner, but I do know this, okay. And tore is very often used to talk about something that's going to follow. Okay, I do know this fact, which I'm going to now relate to you. Okay, and then here what we have is a present nominative singular participle of the verb to be. Okay, something which didn't even exist in classical Latin. It was actually invented later in order to talk about Greek philosophy in Latin. So the verb to be was a very important concept in Greek philosophy. Okay, so being blind for many years, okay, just now I see. Okay, now this, like in Latin, you could translate this present participle in a number of ways. One way of saying doing so, it would be, in this case, although blind for many years, just now I see. Okay. Then they asked him, how were your eyes opened? Okay. He answered them, I told you already, and you didn't listen. So he's already told them, and they're asking him again. Okay, I told you already, and you didn't listen. Okay, what again do you wish to hear? And notice here we have use of may. Okay, with an imperative. Okay, so with imperatives you're not going to use u. Usually you're going to use may. Okay, for a negative. Okay. And don't you also? Okay, that's probably that use of kai here. And don't you also wish to become his disciples? Okay, the disciples of him, of that man. Okay. So he seems to be asking here, well, if this guy made me be able to see, wouldn't you want to be his disciples and learn from him also? All right, we'll leave it off there till the next part.